Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
My bite's not close to my bark buddies. And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Most people are not willing to work hard, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. I'm not judging you if you don't want to work hard. Just fuck you if you're going to complain about it. That's what I have a problem with. That's the lazy, ambitious group, and they're scary as hell. They want everything, but they're not willing to work for anything, right? Because they'll do things that'll destroy the golden goose to try to get what they want now. So it's okay if you don't want to work hard. I'm totally okay with that. Hey, you want to go fucking live on the beach and live off the land and fucking pedal to get shit? Great. That could be your lifetime. That's what you want to do. There is zero judgment in my heart. Just don't ask the world to change to fit your fucking lifestyle.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
My beautiful people of YouTube, I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. We have a lot to be thankful for this Tuesday morning. Many of you know I was headed out. I was going out into the wild. I was driving to New York. I was going there to cover this case, to find out what happened. I was curious. You know, there's not a lot of information that was being, shared. And I'm one of those people that like to go out there and get the information, if it's not being shared. So I was heading to New York. I got about 3 hours. I was about an hour, maybe an hour and a half from the Florida-Georgia line when she was found. And so I opted to turn around. If I was further along, if I had left like yesterday or early yesterday morning, I probably would have just went ahead and drove on, went ahead and made it. But I'm 3 hours in on a 21-hour drive. I want to repeat that. I was 3 hours in on a 21-hour drive, 21 and a half hour drive, which would have probably equated that long, about 22 hours on the road. That is correct. I didn't stutter. So as you can see, my reluctancy to continue to go to New York, we are very, very thankful that she was found. I've got to say, this young girl defied odds. She's lucky to be alive. She's a miracle. I truly believe that this shows you God moves mountains and God has a hand in a lot, because this outcome was few and far between. And we're going to talk about some of the statistics related to that, because I think it's very, very important just to understand just how extremely lucky this young girl and her family truly are today. Now, I'm sure that there's a lot of healing that needs to go on. I don't even want to allow my mind to go where I'm sure many of our minds are going right now as to what this poor little girl has gone through. And my heart breaks. But in all of that brokenness of my heart is happy, because this was one of the ones that got to come home. And at the end of the day, that is a miracle in and of itself. Good morning, The Real Me Too. Huntress, it's nice to see you. Guidance, good morning. Cherry Garcia, it's nice to see you. Reggie, be good. Curvaceous, it's nice to have you here. Maddie Down, nice to have you. Emma, who else do we have? We have Angie, Pen 1010, MJ, Connie Branch, love, love, love. TLC is me, Margaret, Sean, it's nice to see you all here. Callie K, Gigi for Life, Chevron Grill. Good morning, Chevron. It's nice to see you. Who else? Pat Gaines, nice to see you in here. And I know we have a lot of people, so I'm not going to go through too many people's second thesis. So everybody else, this is just a blanket good morning to you. If you've asked questions up to this point and you want some answers, you might want to repost those because I go down to the bottom. Regina, Steffers, Jason, it's nice to see you all here. So as you saw in my thumbnail, it has been pulling teeth trying to get a mugshot of this guy. This I found on a group, a Charlotte Sena group. And so I was able to see that. Now we did have, like, Nick the Hat posted some information. It's really weird because it appears it might be a relative of his or something, but we're going to go over all that. I didn't really read too much. It was such a long post, but I know people are reviewing it. So I do have it on one of the things that we're going to read and review. But it looks like this guy is from a really weird list. And listen to this. So, I'm driving now. It is amazing the information that we can find. When things are moving very quickly, there's a lot of changes. I mean, sometimes even when I'm talking, the information, like right now, when there's a case that's moving and it's a fluid situation, I could be talking right now about information that I just read, and literally in 5 or 10 minutes, that information changes. So obviously somebody that's watching something an hour or two later, that information may be wildly different. I just want to caution people on that. So you got to be paying attention to when the information is out on this. But I was driving. You guys know I was driving, and I was getting some information coming to me while I was on the road. And what I learned on the road, we talked about yesterday, and I also want to clarify this. Some people are saying that I made a statement about a worker at the park. No, I never made a statement of any sort. And all the people that were here yesterday, you guys can go back to the live yesterday morning and watch it for yourself. We went over comments and posts from a Facebook group designated for Charlotte Sena. And we went over some of the commentary, some highlights that were interesting in some of those posts. And I cautioned everybody that this came from a Facebook group. This is rumored. We can't take it as fact because I cannot corroborate it. I did try to substantiate the information and was unable to, but I didn't want to stop the flow of information. So I made sure I gave all the disclaimers and all the information, and actually physically pulled up those comments from Facebook. So we were literally reading right from Facebook. Those were not comments that I made. Those were not comments that I even cautioned everybody in here to take it as rumor. But, the misinformation people out there that spread it, they try to say we do, are already on there saying that I said those things because they clearly can't watch a stupid video and put out the truth. But the truth doesn't bode with their narrative. They also said, because yesterday while we were on the road, I'm getting information that there was an RSO, there was a raid, and she was found. Somebody actually literally went into somebody. Can you believe Betty said that there was a raid and she was found and she must have been found on the property? Well, guess what we just found out? We found out that there was an RSO, there was a freaking raid, and she was found in a trailer on the property. Now, granted, I don't have a crystal ball, but information does come to me. And I'm sorry that we were breaking it and people didn't believe it at the time. Hell, I didn't even know whether it was true. I'm on the road. I had no way of corroborating the information. So I, again, put a disclaimer on there that I'm on the road. This is what I am hearing. I don't know what else I can do. Some of these people are just stupid. I don't know what else to say. Just absolutely stupid. But the good news is that she is alive, with all the petty bull crap out there on YouTube over literally stupid stuff. And it always takes away from the good. Like, this girl was found alive, and I've got to tell you, she defied the odds. And we should be sitting here and congratulating and kudosing. But you know what? These animals can't do that. It's like, oh, well, you know what Betty said? You know what Betty? This ain't about me. It's about a 9-year-old girl. I can't. I literally can't. These people are too stupid. You know, this is a product of our education system. And I'm going to say that because we have one stupid teacher, you know, Miss Moore and whatnot, out there that teaches our kids and complains about teaching our kids, but has troll accounts because she doesn't want to do, I guess, plans and schedules and actual education. I guess Bullhorn Betty is the education for her students. Who knew, right? All right, without further ado, we're going to be discussing, we're going to go right through this. We're going to discuss, we're going to see this. I know you guys have all seen this, or a lot of you have seen this, but there are a few that have not seen this yet. This is the press conference from the governor's office. It's just 16 minutes long. We'll get through it, and then we're going to get on to the update. And then we're going to get on to the statistics. And then after we get on to the statistics, we're going to have some conversations about the information that we learned. And then I'm opening up the phone lines. So did you say, you did say rumors. I know. You know, I could probably have a freaking neon flashing light in the, like, I can't. I really can't. Like these, at this point, all they're trying to do is gaslight and instigate. It's so stupid and petty. And nobody really cares. If you guys really care about the petty drama when we're talking about cases like this, put a 1 in the chat. If you're so sick of the freaking drama here on YouTube, put a 2 in the chat. I'll let you guys decide. But until then, while you guys are putting in your polls, let's get started.
Good evening. This is a very good day. It's been a long 2 days, but tonight our prayers have been answered. We're overcome with relief and gratitude for this gift to all of us. And it is the people standing here with me that remind me why I'm so proud to be the governor of this state.
Hold on. Then leave. We've never seen you here. And again, you were just, I'm done. I'm done. Block these people. Anybody, I'm telling you, mods, I will take your wrenches if you don't start blocking this stuff out of here. I'm sorry. I don't want to see it. Block it. I'm done. We're all done.
State. Incredible men and women who were relentless in their pursuit of finding this little girl. Yesterday, I held Charlotte's parents in my arms. David and Trish, I went to the campsite. I saw the place that she had just been a joyful little girl the day before, riding her bike because I was on the road she rode her bike on, saw where she left it. And her parents were just so overcome with sadness and grief. And as a parent, I thought my own heart was breaking. And I said to them, I promise you this, we will bring Charlotte home to you. And as each hour went on, hope faded because we all know the stories. The first 24 hours, there's hope. But when you hit 48 hours, hope starts to wane. But when Charlotte disappeared in Moreau State Park, it was every parent's worst nightmare. But I knew I would be able to have assembled the team of individuals who would not stop. And I want to thank at this moment the individuals gathered here tonight and all the men and women across this state that they represent. And the FBI brought in their specialized trained individuals all the way from Washington to help with this search. But I want to thank Deputy Superintendent Richard Allen, Lieutenant Colonel James Barnes, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Mazzone, Major Dennis Shager, for their work. The New York State Park Police, Colonel Michael Dodona, the Office of Parks and Historic Preservation, Chief of Staff Randy Simons, Saratoga County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Jeffrey O'Connor, the Schenectady County Sheriff's Office, represented by the Schenectady Police Department, Police Department of Schenectady, Detective Sergeant Bradley Carlton. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, Acting Agent.
The Real Me Too, if you have the URL, can you send that to me either by text or through Messenger or something? I would like to see that interview where the brother called in, if possible, if you can find it. I know sometimes it's hard.
In charge, Alfred Watson, who I met yesterday on site. New York State Department of Corrections and Community Services, Acting Commissioner Daniel Marticello. New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Forest Rangers, Basil Sagos. As I mentioned, when you hit that 48-hour moment, you realize it's going to be tough. And you start thinking the worst.
Now, I want you guys to hear this governor, because again, this governor of New York explains, many of these cases, they don't turn out like this. Let's be honest. These stranger danger abductions are lethal because typically they're for one purpose and one purpose only. And once that purpose has been realized, there's no need to keep that young person anymore. It's now a liability. So that is why it is so crucial that we get these children, and why every second matters, and why I'm so, and it's not just me. There are a lot of people out there in the legal realm that are highly upset about this Amber Alert. So much so that Judy Ron has said something about it. Jennifer Coffindaffer has said something about it. This is a problem. Joseph Petito. This is a problem. Many people realize that on these stranger danger abductions, literally seconds matter. Seconds matter. This girl is so lucky that it is not even funny. This is a miracle. I don't know how to express that enough.
But what happened was extraordinary. The case started to break at 4:20 a.m. this morning, when the family's home that was being guarded by state police, when the parents were still starting another day at the campsite where they'd last seen their daughter.
18 months, Aaron. Thank you.
4:20 a.m. The car pulls up to a mailbox. Something is left. State police immediately go to the mailbox and identify what is a ransom note that had been left behind for Charlotte. State police worked diligently trying to find a match for a fingerprint. First one tried and wasn't successful. Second one was to identify any other prints in the New York State database that would be a match. The hit came at 2:30 in the afternoon. There had been a DWI in 1999 in the city of Saratoga. A fingerprint was found that matched what was found on the ransom note. So, a little more research work to identify the location and identifying the fact that there was a home they could visit. They found a double-wide house with a woman, the suspect's mother. The suspect lived in the camper behind. They had what they call a dynamic entry, a tactical maneuver, and within the camper, they located the suspect. After some resistance, the suspect was taken into custody, and immediately the little girl was found in a cupboard.
So I want to, again, the information that I had driving. Now, this is not even boots on the ground. This is driving. The information that I had that came into me is that there was a large police presence. There was a raid. And shortly after the raid, we started hearing news reports that Charlotte was found safe. And I even sat there and stated, that I don't know if those are connected. I don't know if she was found on the property with the RSO. But this was the information we had so far, that there was heavy police presence. There was a raid on an RSO's house. Shortly after that raid, Charlotte was found alive. Now we are hearing from the governor. Now, mind you, when I said that, people went right on because I'm driving. I had a 3-hour drive back. So this was prior to this press conference. This was on my drive back. And I'm hearing people talking about me yet again. Now, this has nothing to do with me. It's a 9-year-old girl that's missing, calling me a liar, and how I don't know what I'm talking about, and how I'm intentionally misrepresenting information about a raid of an RSO's home. And and how stupid I am to think that she was found at the property. Find that funny. Who's misrepresenting information here? And I was driving. Like I shouldn't even have accurate information. And my information was more accurate than people sitting behind a computer. Just FYI.
She was rescued. And she knew she was being rescued. She knew that she was in safe hands. Her parents were immediately notified. This occurred at 6:32 this evening. The suspect, 47-year-old male named Craig Nelson Ross Jr., is still being questioned. At this moment, charges have not been brought, but they are fully expected. Her daughter was transported to local hospital, as is customary. And that's all the family wishes to reveal at this time. But they are united. She is in
Did I hit a nerve, JJ?
good hands. She appeared to be outwardly physically unharmed at the time. But we'll leave the rest of this information about little Charlotte to her family at a time they deem appropriate. Often these stories don't end up like this. Every second is key. There's a lot of pressure. Split decisions are made. Because
Well, let's talk about that. Even if not a registered RSO, like a registered SO, we can definitely state that law enforcement has come out multiple times and stated that he was associated with other creepy type. I don't remember the specificity that they used in that. But definitely he's had charges that give rise to this. I think he might be a registered RSO, but you're right, maybe not confirmed. But again, we're not talking about confirmation, right? We're talking about what I heard. And what I heard is that it was an RSO rated. That's what I heard. Now, that's factual to me because that's what I heard. Now, the information I heard may not be factual, but the fact that I heard it is factual. So we'll find out. I'm sure in good time we'll be finding out a lot of information. We finally got his mugshot at like 4:00 this morning. So, things are moving along. They're moving along at a snail's pace. But again, at the end of the day, the miracle in this story is Charlotte. The miracle in this story is Charlotte. It's not whether he was registered or confirmed. Really, at the end of the day, that is an insignificant, because law enforcement already has come out and said that there is some type of sexual deviance in his past somewhere, period. I mean, they've said that. So even whether or not he's registered or not, it just to me seems like that is an insignificant detail in the overall story. So even if that was inaccurate in part, it's not inaccurate in wholly. So we're splitting hairs on whether he was registered or not. But at the end of the day, we know he has sexual deviance in his past because law enforcement has said something to that effect already. So again, splitting hairs. in my opinion.
Not just a life is hanging in the balance, but a little innocent child's life is hanging in the balance. So to the teams behind me, you work quickly. You work.
I'm assuming, honey, that it is be kind. I could be wrong. You're probably laughing at me right now. I probably have it wrong.
With great urgency. You put it together, the puzzle pieces. You're able to track down the location of Charlotte through technology. But ultimately, it was the 2 SWAT teams, 1 federal, 1 state, that landed in helicopters in Boston Spa to rescue Charlotte. Still pretty overwhelming because all of us feared the worst.
Yes. Did you hear that? That's straight from the governor's office. That's not Bullhorn Betty. That's not our chat. That is the governor's office. That's law enforcement. That's this family. That's everybody. We know the statistics. This is an outlier. She was an outlier. Thank God. Thank God. It is not the case, guys. It's just not the case. Stick around. We're going to go over it.
But I promise Trish and Dave, they be reunited with little Charlotte once again, and she see her 2 sisters, 1 10, 1 4 years old. And obviously it's a traumatic event for the family and certainly Charlotte. And we'll continue to keep this family in our prayers as they heal. But she'll be going home. That's the story. Charlotte will be going home.
And I think we're going to end it there. I know they had a lot of questions at the end, but for those that would like to see this is on the governor's own YouTube page. She does have her own YouTube page. If you would like to see the rest of that, you're more than welcome to go over there and watch it. So many of you know that we have been watching this stuff. This was breaking. This particular article from Times Union has been, what I like about this particular article is they keep updating the one article. So it's not like you have to go and find the second, third, fourth, fifth article to get the updated information. They've actually been very good about updating this one article. So it's been pretty interesting. I've never seen it done this way before, but I have to admit, I love it. I'm sure they're not the only ones that do it, but it's just the first time I noticed it. And so in this Times Union article, they were talking about the fingerprint. I thought this article was really interesting, so I wanted to read it to all of you guys. I'm gonna try to blow it up just a little bit so you guys can see it yourself. Give me just a second. I can. Hopefully that cuts the print off just ever so slightly. I'd like to get it so when I'm reading it, you guys can see the print because, you know, in case there's people with hearing impairment. Perfect. Okay, so it looks like I got it up there. So if you guys want to hold your questions until after I'm done reading, that would be great. And here's why, because when I'm reading here, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm looking at a completely different screen that is in the opposite direction as this screen. So if you guys do have questions, hold them until after I'm done reading this entire article, and then it'll give me an opportunity to at least answer your questions. And if I don't know the answer to your questions, it'll give me an opportunity to do some due diligence, to research, and maybe just pull, if we can find some information online, potentially pull it up and answer your question for you. So just bear with me. Twin Thing says, for me, I don't see this as splitting hairs. The guy was caught from fingerprints left on a ransom note, put in rather family's mailbox. They got his print from a DUI back in '89, I think. But the bottom line is you are splitting hairs because law enforcement I mean, if you would like me to find it, I'm happy to find it. But law enforcement has already come out and said that there is some type of sexual deviance in his past, whether he's registered or not. The behavior is there in his past. To me, that's splitting hairs. Because even if they found it from a 98 and 89 DUI, it doesn't matter where they found the fingerprint or which case they pulled that had the fingerprint on it. The bottom line is the question, he has sexual deviance, whether it was stalking, whether it was peeping Tom, whether it was he has some kind of deviance that they have acknowledged in the past. It doesn't matter to me whether he's whether he's physically or certifiably registered or not. The bottom line is he was a sexual predator previously. He's got the history there, and here we are today. So, then it's a differencing of opinions, whether it's splitting hairs or not. So no point in beating a dead horse at this point. We have to just agree to disagree. So I'm not going to continue to engage. The bottom line is you're going to have your opinion about the situation. Have my opinion about the situation. I'm not going to change your mind. You're probably not going to change mine. So again, thank you for your comment. Yeah, there's some people in this audience that believes probably right along with you. Maybe it's not splitting hairs. To me, it's splitting hairs. To me, it is not what I mean with splitting hairs. And let me just explain this for my audience. It's not a pivotal point in the information. Okay. It's not something that would matter one way or the other in the grand scheme of things, whether he's registered, whether he's not. He has the deviance in his past. That's all that matters. So for me, in the grand scheme of things, that's really all that matters. Whether, I digress. You get my point. Again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse over it. So let me read this. And if you guys have any other comments or questions, just hold it until after the story is read. So this is fingerprints on ransom note that led to Charlotte Sena's rescue. And again, I have no ability to, why is this doing this? This is not, hold on just a second. Let me refresh this. Something's not right. It's not scrolling like it should. There we go. I can tell when something's not right with this thing. And I don't know if it's like a video playing or what. So fingerprints on a ransom note led to Charlotte Sena's rescue. And again, this is not an article that authored by me. I'm just simply reading it. If there's any information that's inaccurate in this article, it is not the Bullhorn Betty's channel's fault. You are responsible for doing your own research, okay? Because I've got to put all these things because we have stupid assholes out there on the streets of YouTube that want to split hairs, okay? So it's up to you to do your own research. I don't want to hear your bickering. Okay. Now that we're past all that, so it's got to be these. Okay, I'm over that. Let's see. So the story is Moreau. 9-year-old Charlotte Sena was found alive Monday evening, and a suspect in her abduction was arrested after police tracked him to a camper trailer at the property in Milton. It's not Wilton, it's Milton. It was accurate, according to state police. Law enforcement sources had told the Times Union that suspect 46-year-old Craig N. Ross Jr. allegedly left a ransom note at Charlotte parents' home before dawn on Monday. And as we learned from the governor, that took place at, I think she said around 4 a.m., around 4:20 a.m. Monday morning. And so the governor, Kathy Hochul, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I know I've heard it before, but I can't pronounce it, confirmed that information late Monday night, saying at the news conference with state police that Ross had dropped a ransom note off in the mailbox at the family's residence at 4:20 a.m. on Monday. State troopers recovered the note after Ross left the area. At about 2 p.m. on Monday, a fingerprint on the note was matched to a fingerprint from Ross's Saratoga Springs 1999 driving while intoxicated. The governor said there is no indication yet that Ross had any connection with the girl's family. Police raided a number of locations tied to Ross late Monday afternoon, including the mobile home on Barrett Road, where his mother lived, and the adjacent trailer where Charlotte Sena was found. That residence off Main Line, Middleline, is that right? Middleline Road, about 13 miles west of Charlotte Sena's lot, where Charlotte Sena lives with her family in Porter's Corner near Corinth. The governor said the vehicle registration for Ross also listed an address that was a short distance from the resident of Sena's family. State police said that Ross suffered minor injuries when he struggled as he was arrested by state police special operations response team at the Barrett Road residence on Monday evening. An FBI SWAT team assisted in the apprehension and the rescue. There it is. The state police said Charlotte Sena was in good health. Sources said that the girl was taken via ambulance to Albany Medical Center Hospital. A few hours before notice of the girl's recovery, a large contingent of state police had gathered in a parking lot on Saratoga Performing Arts Center off Route 50. And that's when I was being notified that there was a heavy, and that's what I was told when I received the call. They said that this was a very, very heavy police presence, and that's what it sounds like was over there at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center off of Route 5. Roughly 20 unmarked state police vehicle, military-style tactic vehicles, and at least one helicopter were there, along with troopers dressed in camouflage who appeared to be SWAT team members. State police blocked the Barrett Road on Monday evening to prevent motorists from entering the residential street after they raided. I want to make sure I emphasize raided the property and rescued the girl. Hochul issued a statement showing she was overjoyed with the news that Charlotte Sena had been located safely this evening after an intense days-long search. Our hearts are with the family as they are welcoming her home. The arrest was made less than 3 hours after state police said their ongoing search had expanded over 46 linear miles. Approximately 400 certified search and rescue personnel from a dozen of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, as well as fire department, were actively searching for Charlotte after she vanished Saturday evening at the Moreau Lake State Park, where she had been camping with her family and friends. On Saturday, Charlotte and her family were staying at campsite 18 Loop A, the site closest to the entrance of the park. And that was another concern that I heard in it wasn't the first press conference. I didn't really learn a whole lot of information from the very first press conference. What I learned is everybody was melancholy, because the bottom line is the statistics are they're statistics, and the statistics were stacked against this young girl. But it was on Duty Ron in his conversation with Janae. And also, I garnered a lot of information from the WFLA update that had Duty Ron and Jennifer Coffindaffer on it, where they were discussing this case. And the one thing that bothered me the most about this particular situation is that where they were, Loop A, was the nearest to the entrance and exit of that park. We had discussed a few things yesterday, about theories, because, in lack of factual information and the limited facts that we had of this case, we had to try to put it together and make it make sense. And when we were putting this together, one of the things that I stated is I truly believe that this was like a snatch and grab type of situation, because I didn't think that people were looking in the park. People wanted to get in the park to search. And my biggest thing is that wasn't the place I wanted to search, because I knew she was already gone. And the reason what made me believe that, and again, this was just a theory, this was just an opinion, is because if he was hurting her in the park, I feel like the people would have heard a scream. I feel like the people would have heard something going on. And that's what led me to believe that she was removed from that park very quickly, because there was no noise. And she had just went around that circle by herself. And I also had the theory that the person must have been sitting there watching the kids, and a prime opportunity presented itself. It was a snatch and grab and drive off. And I truly believe that they most likely, in addition to the thumbnail, we don't understand. People hear thumbnail and think that, oh, well, they just dusted for prints and just ran across this. Typically, in cases like this, it's the one thing that they are able to use to get a search warrant. It's the concrete evidence. It doesn't mean that that's the only thing that pointed to this guy or put this guy on their radar. There was multiple things that put this guy most likely on the radar. And one of those things could have been the digital forensic footprint, because in my theory, it would have been a snatch and grab, right? And in the snatch and grab theory, the person would have snatched the child and drove off immediately. So you would have seen the phone services leaving the area fairly quickly after said abduction took place. So I believe that maybe this was the way they were able to get the warrant to raid the home. But I do believe that they had some other indicating factors. I believe that this was just an additional hit that identified this guy, because they don't typically go just off one thing or the other. It's usually multiple things. Like even in Brian Koberger's case, it wasn't just his phone pings, right? It was his phone pings in conjunction with the fact that he's driving the white vehicle seen in some of the surveillance. And then it's in addition to finding his father's DNA that matched his that showed that whoever left the DNA on the knife. So it was multiple things that identified Brian Koberger. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just a fingerprint. Rex Heuermann. It wasn't just the pizza box and the DNA. I mean, that helped, right? It helped. It helped solidify a few things. But it wasn't the only identifying marker that identified that guy. It was the one that gave them the rock solid information to get the search warrant. That's it. Rex Heuermann was already on their radar because he was associated with Manhattan. He was associated with Massapequa. He had a registered Chevrolet, whatever Avalanche, first generation Avalanche. So it was multiple things. They were following him because of those multiple things. And then they came across the pizza box, or, something with a pizza crust. And that's when they finally got the DNA. So again, multiple things. I don't think it was just this one fingerprint. I think there was multiple things that was leaning toward this. And the fingerprint is what solidified the situation and got them the warrant. That's just, again, my opinion. Been doing this a while. That's typically how it goes. So that's just, okay. Have to say that these days. People are too stupid. So the Amber Alert, this is what upset me about this entire case. And many of you know, I've been passionate about this, especially since I heard this. 16 hours for an Amber Alert, I think is disgusting. I'm sorry. A stranger danger Amber Alert, 16 hours. I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't even know what to say about that. Let me just get up here and see if we have any questions. I'm kind of done with that article. What I don't understand is if they saw him putting the note in the mailbox when they did not stop him right then and there. Why did they let him drive away? That made no sense to me. Well, I believe there's a strategy in that. Even if they watched him put the note in the mailbox, they wouldn't have probably wanted to jump right out to see what was in that note. There was no way that anybody surveilling that property would have known what was in that note. So I don't think that they would have, in my opinion, showed their hand had they stopped him at the mailbox. So even if he wasn't the assailant, maybe they would have given themselves away by doing so. So that was, I don't think that would have been proper. You don't want to tank a surveillance gig. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're watching that house for a purpose. So you got to let things slide just to make sure that all people. So I think that is two part. I think they let him go because they couldn't out themselves as surveilling the property as one of the possibilities. And the other possibility is they may have just wanted to see where he went. They may have trailed him. They may have thought that this guy might be it. And they may wanted to know where he was heading after he dropped that note off. So there could have been multiple parts to that as to why they didn't. It may be in a combination. It may be something that I'm not even thinking about. I'm not sure. One part of me wants to know her full story, as I know as I know quite the experience to tell. But the other half of me is afraid of the awful ugly that could have happened to her. Bless her heart. I know. And you know what? To be honest with you, in situations like this, in my experience, what I find out is that the child's going to struggle for a really long time. And no matter how much therapy this child goes through, this is going to affect her the rest of her life. And depending on how well she adjusts to therapy, she might not have, grown up problems that are a product of this experience. What do I mean, grown up problems? Drugs and alcohol. That's what I mean. Because sometimes scars are so deep and the pain is so painful. You just want something that takes it away. You don't want to think about it. You don't want to feel it. You don't. So that was a lot to do, me personally don't want to know. Like I can already speculate that what that poor little girl went through was just something disgusting, like disgusting. And this is the reason why Bullhorn Betty is not in law enforcement. I will be honest with you. Scum like this, they would be missing parts of their body. Like I would try to say that I would not, that I don't think I'd have it in me to bob at somebody. But these stories that I hear, that's why Bullhorn Betty's not in law enforcement, right? That's why they don't let me near the criminals. Because I'm telling you, like right now, all I want to do is take a cleaver and make sure that this man never does anything to another child again. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's graphic as it is. It's awful. I don't care. And they can put me on horrible hate channels about how I got people like this and I want to take their junk. I'm pretty sure that 1 million people agree with me. But we're still going to have those haters that want to send this guy money. We still have those channels, right? This man's innocent until proven guilty. I mean, he was found with the kid on his property and in his trailer and in a cupboard, hiding her. But, we still have people that are going to say that this man is innocent until proven guilty. There's still going to be a POS that's going to send this animal money and commissary so he can have a good life, and pray to God that they can pimp him out and pimp him out on their channel if he gets out or anything like that. Like, it's just disgusting. And I just wanted to take a cleaver to him. I don't know what else to say. I just want to take a cleaver to this animal, right? So here is kind of the location of where they found her. Okay. I don't know if you guys were reading the articles or not, but it was Milton and Barrett Road. So it was somewhere in this area here. Okay. As to where she was actually found. Let me go ahead and see if I can put this up on a layer. See if we can make this a little bit so you guys can see. So this is kind of the area. I'm thinking she was somewhere in this area here. It sounds like she was in a trailer. So I don't know if the trailer was on its individual, because this looks like a little trailer park right. Excuse me, a little trailer park right here. But again, that's on Saratoga Drive. And they said the trailer was on Barrett Road near Milton. And this is Barrett Road near Milton. Milton's this one right here. And Barrett's this one right here. So it's somewhere in here in a trailer, on a trailer on the property. Yeah, Flint is in Michigan, Kay, because to be honest with you, our friend here, Steffers, actually lives in Flint. And she's kept us up to snuff on all the crap that's going on in Flint, Michigan. So again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open the phones up. I mean, I've got a laundry list of things to do, or not of things to do, but just, and here's where I found this. So, I've been watching this. It says that he was arrested at 3:40 this morning. And so this is the picture. And this is what really, really disgusts me. That poor little girl. This is the face she freaking had to look at. Tell me that's not sick. Like, I want to take a cleaver to this man's, you know what? That is disgusting. That man is not all there. He doesn't even look all there. He's a sick, twisted freak. He's a sick, twisted. And this is what I said. You know what? Olivia and I were talking about this yesterday when I got home because she wanted to make sure I made it home. I made it home. Believe it or not, listen to this. I got something to tell you. But we made it home, or when I made it home, and I started talking about this guy. But well, let me just go back. I'll go back. When I come home, you guys know how I am. When I go on a trip, I come home, and what is the first thing I do? I grab everything out of the truck. Now, mind you, I packed everything because I there's a 4-day drive, just 2 days up there and 2 days back. So there was 4 days already equated into this trip. And so the whole car was loaded down. So I packed this entire car up with a whole bunch of stuff from, blow up mattresses, tents. You never know what you're going to run into, right? I even have some, like generator type of stuff. So if I'm out in the wild, I'm out in the wilderness, I can still survive, because when you're that far away from home, you have to prepare for everything. So I have this whole thing, my whole car loaded down with stuff. I even made myself a bed in the back seat. And I did that because when I'm driving up, it's a 20-something hour drive. When I do that, I literally sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, get up and drive until I'm tired again, sleep for 2 or 3 hours, get up and drive, and keep going until I get there. So I don't like getting hotels for that. So I just sleep in the back seat of my car. And so everything was ready. I was heading out, and I came home. I ended up getting home, and I took everything out of the truck. I got home at like 20 to 11. I took everything out of the truck. I went through everything. I literally put everything away. Yes, I did. Everything away. I woke up this morning and it was I put everything away. I never do that. But Olivia called me, and we were talking about this, about the case, and the fact that she was found. And one of the things that we were discussing is who could have done this and why. And obviously this was an opportunity. But what gets me with this particular case is that, everybody involved lived fairly close to this park. Okay. So her, Charlotte and her family, they didn't come too far away. It was just a gorgeous time. They wanted to go out and hang out with people and just get the kids out of the house, have good, enjoyable family fun. But the problem, and this guy doesn't live too far away from him. He only lives 13 minutes away from their actual home. And I keep wondering, did this guy watch her? Was he watching her? We know he was watching her that day. Did he recognize her? This, I really don't know what to think about this animal. But I was telling Olivia, I said, look, if they do not put him in jail for the rest of his life on this particular crime, the next one, he will kill that person. If they let this man out of jail, he's going to kill the next one. Because he knows that if he does this again, it's going to put him in jail. This guy does not look right upstairs. Just the way he's looking, the way I don't think this, I think this guy has some behavioral and educational and mental issues. He doesn't, just this photo. I mean, granted, I'm judging a book by its cover, and some people don't like that, but I'm sorry. I say it like it is. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, and I'm allowed to say it. And the way this picture looks with his face blown up, he doesn't look like he's all there. I'm sorry. He just doesn't. There's something wrong with this guy. But even people that have problems learn. So the next one's not going to be this lucky. They have to put this man in jail for the rest of his life. A man like this does not change. Does not change. Now, I just want to get into what an outlier is. and this is important because a lot of people don't understand, and they really don't. They don't understand what an outlier is. An outlier is a person or thing situated away or detached from the main body or system, a person or thing that differing from all other members of a particular group or set. So an outlier is basically something that does not bode properly with the majority. For example, this particular case where Charlotte was found alive, she was an outlier in this, because most that are abducted by strangers do not come home. They do not make it. So much so that 89%, I want people to understand how lucky this girl is to be alive. Because 89% of the cases, the missing child dies within 24 hours of the disappearance. Now, granted, this is coming from the Washington State Attorney General's office. However, this is statistics that are pretty similar from state to state. I want you to understand how lucky this girl is to be alive. We always want to, leave out hope that these children are found alive. But I'm not an emotional channel here. We deal in statistics and facts. And the bottom line is all of my assessments are based upon that. We always make sure that we caution our audience that this is statistics. That doesn't mean that this is going to be fact. I also tell everybody how I believe amazing the power of prayer is. And when we started our segment out yesterday, one of the things I said was, statistics are not on her side. I can't remember verbatim what I said, but it was something to the effect, statistics aren't on her side. And what do we do when we don't know what to do? We pray. God moves mountains. God moved mountains in this case. God moved mountains. She defied odds. Her family defied odds. Her poor little body may be battered and bruised, but she survived. And she's young enough that hopefully she can put this behind her and have a productive life. I find a lot of people that go through these types of traumas and traumatic events as young children or young adults, after they go through their own healing process, and sometimes that takes decades. It really does. But what I do find out, just in my experience, the goodness from all of this is that she'll hopefully be able to help somebody else. She'll hopefully be able to take her experience and help somebody else. I don't know why some of us have to walk the path that we have to walk to get to where we're going in this life. But I don't believe in mistakes. I believe everything happens for a reason. I don't know why this happened to this young girl, but hopefully in time maybe she'll do great things out of this horrible, horrible event, such as helping another victim, helping multiple victims. We don't know what her path is. We don't know why she went through this. We don't know why she has to live this. We don't know why she has to endure this. We don't know why. We don't know why yet. But we pray that some good can come from all of this ugly and evil. But she's lucky to be alive, guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the phones. I know a lot of us have a lot of emotions when it comes to this case. I know I do. This is a very emotional case for me personally, because we know it's kind of hard, because we're so thankful she's alive, but we know that what she had to go through was pretty ugly. And that, I think, is the hardest, especially for females, especially for females that have children, grandchildren. You know, we look at our children, we look at our grandchildren, and we try so hard to keep them safe from harm. We try very hard to protect them. We don't want to be hover parents, and we don't want to, you know, keep them too close, too guarded. And we want them to live and enjoy life, but we know the ugly that's out there that's preying upon them. And a lot of that scares the crap out of a lot of us. This family was out enjoying this was anybody's family. This was anybody's story. This could have been any of us. This could have been any of us. Any of us. These parents did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong. I read some of the, you know, it's like when situations like this come about, you know, the one thing I love about situations like this is seeing all the great people that come together for the common good, for helping a family and helping a missing person or what that may be. But the other side, the ugly side of that is there's animals out there that are evil, that want to add insult to injury, that want to hurt, that's literally their only primary purpose is to hurt. And some of the things that they said to these parents were awful. They were awful. I can't tell you how many times I rode my bike at 9 years old without my mommy or daddy near me. I can't tell you how many times. I'm pretty sure that the people that were saying those horrible things to those parents, they probably lost their own damn children. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. I'm just so sick of the judgment here on YouTube, because you know what? At the end of the day, none of us are freaking perfect. Every one of us has skeletons in our closet. Believe me. You can act like you don't. You can sit there up on your little high horse and point the finger at everybody else. But let me tell you something, honey. Every time you're pointing the finger at somebody else, there are 3 fingers pointing back to you. So before you cast judgment on somebody else, you better make sure your house is in order. Because I'm telling you right now, when families and stuff are going through this, pointing the finger and telling them that they did something wrong is, how dare you? You literally have maybe 1% of all the information. How dare you? And people are smart enough to know that they don't have all the information, and they still go out and wield this horrible campaign of nasty on like the parents are victims. Victims. It's awful. It breaks my heart. Like I can't, like, I'm sitting here trying to think of how it would feel to wake up one day and your whole life be different. And it just be crushing. And then you got people with freaking clubs, billy clubs, coming after you even more. Like, I've never seen such heartless people in my life like I've seen here lately. This was not the way social media once was. I remember back in the day, people were just so nice and sweet, and everybody was just so kind. Nowadays, it's awful. It's nasty. People, you guys got to get a grip. Life's entirely too short to be this angry all the time. I'm just saying. It's too exhausting to be nasty and mean to people. Like I much rather be nice and courteous to people. I don't mind telling you to go fuck yourself. Excuse my language. My next month's paycheck is going into my cuss jar. Lord help me. Lord help me. Father God, forgive my mouth. God knows I need your guidance today. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. While these people sat on YouTube judging this family and others, the family was spending a weekend outdoors together. I know. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. So, anyways, guys. Oh, I forgot to put the phone number. Sorry, guys. For those who don't know what the phone number is. So the phone lines are open 724-249-6140. This is the topic of Charlotte Sena. We're not really going to be entertaining any other topics on Brian Koberger or anything. I do have some other information about this. Oh, you know what I did want to see? Hold on a second. I have a funny feeling that this is a troll. We'll see. This is Betty.
Hey, it's Guidance. How are you?
Oh, okay. I'm like, this looks like a troll.
No,
Hey,
it's me.
Hey, Guidance. How are you doing, love?
I'm good. I've been glued to this story, but been trying to follow it because I've been moving.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, you're moving. I didn't know that. Ugh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, all good. It's a better place, I hope. But I am so happy to see how many people came out and got her name out there, and I wish everybody would be on the same page for other kids too, because prayer is powerful. And when we were talking about Flint earlier in the chat, this happened to my cousin twice, not just once, but twice. And she was locked into the shed in handcuffs. And she is almost 50 and she still deals with it. And like you were saying, I hope that she will take this and make a positive impact and make her ripple flow to educate and help others, because it really needs to be, and also educate the kids on safety. And there was a lot of conversations on what's the appropriate age for a phone or a tracking device. But it definitely, prayer is powerful, and all I could get out of my mouth yesterday was just, God is good.
Yes.
You know.
I just, when I remember when I got the call, I remember the next thing I did was call Olivia, and Olivia's like, I'm getting my hair done. Is this an emergency? I'm like, call me. just call me. And so she's on there and I'm like, look, there's some movement going on. I said, I'm hearing all this stuff going on. I said, you need to check. I said, go in there and check right now. And she's like, you know, she can hear the hair dryer going off in the background. She's on Twitter. She's like, holy crap, she's found alive. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, so she is alive. And she's like, yes. I'm like, oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. That was not,
yeah.
I don't think, I think we were all waiting for a very grim discovery. I mean,
100% as the time kept ticking, because statistics don't lie. And a lot of the cases that we have covered, they're still missing. And the ones that are found, we're blessed.
Yes, yes.
For those ones that are found, you know?
Yes, yes.
And
we don't want to discredit, you know, law enforcement. The only criticism I have on law enforcement at this moment is nothing other than the 16-hour Amber Alert. That is my only criticism. That is my only criticism with law enforcement is that Amber Alert.
Yep, and that was the conversation with Monkey too. Mm-hmm. On the Amber Alert, because they don't meet the specific criteria, or they don't have A, B, and C, and they grind their teeth.
I hear the boys.
Yes, they just woke up.
Lucky you.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to bed, kids. 5 more minutes.
They just woke up. I was like, I can get a call in before they wake up. They heard me. But it's just, I look at my daughter and she sees what I cover every day, and it keeps her aware. Mm-hmm. But I see a lot of kids that don't have that education or knowledge. And it brought up a lot of good discussions, in my opinion, on the tiles, or what's everybody's opinions on phones, because Judy Ron even said, like, the average age for a kid to have a phone was like 12, 13.
I think they said 11 to 13 was the average. And I have to be honest with you, for me personally, I was highly, highly, highly upset with my stepdaughter because my grandchildren were 3, 5, and 7. And all 3 of them got a cell phone and a tablet one year for Christmas.
Oh, wow. Well, see, that was the one big discussion, and they were like, "Well, she's too young to have a cell phone," but then turned around and said, "Man, I wish she had a cell phone because we could have tracked her that way."
Yeah, but there's, but with kids her age, I just don't see, because you for kids that age, 9 years old, I really don't think anybody under the age of 14 should have a cell phone, and here's why: because they're prey. And they don't even realize they're prey.
They don't understand the dangers.
Yeah. And you know how I feel about video games.
And there's a local predator hunter group here down in Northport and Port Charlotte. And they actually have apps for parents that can monitor your children's devices. Even the hidden ones, like when I go into a calculator and it's actually pictures, they have apps. And they educate every time they catch a predator on a sting. They educate those apps. I'll have to find it.
You know what we really need? We really need somebody to, design, throwaway trackers. Like little stickers that you can put on the back of your tags in the clothes. They come off in the wash. They're used for a day.
They do that for cars on highway, like on high-speed chases. And if it's going to be too dangerous, I've seen it in Georgia on live PD where they'll shoot like a little sticker tracker.
Yeah.
So they'll back off, but it still tracks the car. It's like a little gummy that sticks on.
Yeah, but you don't even need that. Just a little sticker that you can put on your child, every day that you just go through there, and every day you just put a little sticker on the back of your child's little tag here. And it's only good for a day. You peel it off, throw it away, and put a new one on.
Yeah, and that's where some people were talking about. I can't think of the other name, but the tiles, the trackers, like the keychains.
Yeah, those are like for the Apple Track or Apple Tag.
There's another one. Yeah, and there's another one too. And even if you used it and had it on their pant loop or their backpack when they're going to school or somewhere.
Yeah.
But not everybody is for it. But then again, when you come into situations like this and your kid is still at the age of where they are, what's the word? More.
I just think they need to start building them into the watches. Every kid can have a watch on, or a bracelet, or a little rubber thing like this on. Yeah. I mean, they're they think it's fun. I mean, we need to turn stuff that's fun, for our kids, where they're not having to be on a phone. I don't want kids on phones. I want them out playing and being freaking kids. I don't want them stuffed in a freaking room playing video games. I think that is toxic to the brains of our children. I want them out. I want them exploring. I want them trying new things. I want them running their energy out. Yep. I want them, I don't want them stuck to a phone. I want something else. So I want something fun for them, educational. Not like these are educational, but
I feel for you, and especially having twin toddlers, twin 3-year-olds. Yeah. I agree. But
I know, and yours, you need to have a tracker on your boys. Like, you turn your head, they're gone.
Oh yeah, they're runners. But they, it's so unsafe, and they tend to, the people and predators that get in trouble for this, they get little slaps on the wrist, and there's so many around that a lot of people are scared to let their kids out because of the safety issues anymore. Even
go ahead.
Even just walking, my daughter walking from the front of the apartment to the back, my husband's still worried because he's like, you never know what will happen.
Yeah. And, well, here's the issue. So I don't mind the trackers on, like, but I think it needs to be not obvious, because what we're going to find out is people are going to start getting smarter, and they're going to start ditching the backpacks, making sure the child doesn't have the phone on them. These people are going to get smarter and smarter, and we got to keep above them. But I've got to say that, when we were younger, this stuff probably did exist, but.
Oh yeah. Because like I said, it happened to my cousin in Flint, and 2 times. Well, my uncle was a very evil man, and he owed some bad people money. And so they kidnapped her, locked her in a shed, hard her and her friends. And she was 8 at the first time, walking to school at 7 a.m. Threw her in the back of a bus or a white van, handcuffed her into the shed, and it's still traumatizing her, and she's almost 50.
That's awful. And was it the same? Was it the same uncle both times, or?
No, it was her dad that owed wrong people money, but he also did it to others as well. He was a predator himself.
Gotcha. That's awful.
So that's why I've always covered these cases as well, because it hits home. If I could ever say I'm thankful for somebody to be dead, it's him. He's been gone 3 years. I don't have to look behind my shoulder anymore.
Yeah, that's so sad.
It has happened, but I think we're more aware of it too, because social media is so much more in our face.
Yeah,
and we don't have the big news networks picking and choosing what they're going to air and make big stories. Where we have more eyes on different things than,
and we're getting stuff out there faster, and I think that's very, very important. Is because in some of these cases, speed is the name of the game.
Exactly, and I think that's why they also, even they said it during the Danilo Cavalcante. YouTube has been bringing and setting out a lot of news before they have, and they're on the ball and on the ground or following everything. And we can be more free with what we have to report, as long as we do it.
As long as we do it properly. But the bottom line is the First Amendment protects everything, first and foremost. It protects everything. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you are restricted in part because you can't walk into a movie theater and scream, bomb or fire or something like. So we have restrictions on what we can say, but everything's pretty much protected. But at the end of the day, when we're covering cases like this, speed is of the essence. Now it also 100%. causes problems. Like, for example, when they're trying to, corral a suspect in, and we've got it on 15 freaking channels.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, it has its pros and cons, and we do it responsibly and educate people to the fact. It's priceless, because a little girl got home because everybody kept her face out there too, not just in backing the LE and being a support system, because there was so many people that wanted to go out and help. You were one of them, and they were turning people away. Yeah, because once they were ready for help, they were ready to say, come help us, And it's just amazing to see how many people would stand up and help search for this little girl, even if she was kidnapped by a predator, and put their life potentially at risk just to help. It's amazing.
I can honestly say that, it was seeing one of these searches in real life. Like J.J. Rollins is the one that really comes to mind, because there was literally 1,000 people out there. This line for the searchers stretched almost a mile down the road.
Yep. I remember that. I was already getting out of work, packing my bag.
Yeah.
That baby's getting big and beautiful. I'm still friends with his dad and his aunt on Facebook. But I just think education and teaching your kids safety. A lot of people want to stick them on tablets and not actually pay attention. Yeah. And a multitude of different things. But
our children need to be educated. They don't need to be in a room. They don't need to be watching TV. They need to be out exploring, out making mud pies, out freaking collecting frogs and lizards and playing with Barbie dolls. And this whole thing of sitting kids in front of TVs, it's got to stop. Our children, it's toxic for the brain. You can't just let a TV or a computer teach your children. They need interaction.
100%. And I can't tell you how many times I had flashbacks of when we came down here to vacation. I moved down here in '94 when I was 7, and we used to come down on vacation at Oscar Share. I can't tell you how many times my parents let me ride my bike and trail off. I did tons of loops around that whole place, and that's pretty vivid.
I'm sorry.
Well,
your son back there.
My little men. Oh yeah.
Oh, they're cute. They're cute.
And
I got an opportunity to see them.
Oh yeah, they're huge now. They can stand up and shower water in the pool too. All right, I will touch base with you later, but because I'm being interrupted at the moment. But
I hear.
I love you.
I love you too. Have a great day.
I'm proud of you, and I think that God is good and prayer is powerful, and so thankful for all of the agencies that were involved in helping this baby get home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Have a wonderful day, love.
You too, love. Take care. God bless.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I think, watching this particular case unfold, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Even though we know that something horrible happened to that poor girl, just the elation of her being home, her being the one that was brought home safe and sound. She's going to have scars, deep scars. But many kids in her position don't get to heal from those scars. Their families never do. This one, we have hope. I can't wait to see what this young girl does in her life. Well, hello, Real Me Too.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You just stopped by and see me yesterday.
I didn't even get that far. I didn't even get out of the state of Florida. Yeah. I was about an hour from the Florida-Georgia line, and I turned around.
Yeah. I sent you that thing on the Brooks guy, and the Craig guy was, I guess he was arraigned early morning hours, and his mugshot's out there if you want.
Yeah, it's on my thumbnail, his mugshot.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thank God that everything worked well for this girl,
Mm-hmm.
There was 160 just arrested in Ohio for trafficking, so that's good. But I believe too, when you're talking about all these kids, need to be outside and stuff. I mean, maybe it just wasn't, we weren't aware of it back in the day, but I just think all the social media and stuff is you see more and more mental health, and I think, what you think about it, but we didn't hear much about that when we were younger. I think it makes things worse with the mental health,
I think it does too, but we do have mental health, but we need to also understand that, with people that stay home all the time, that are suffering from these conditions, are more inclined to be online and in social media chat rooms all day. So we need to understand that, some of these people just aren't really that stable, I mean,
right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Did you pack your atomic beer?
Huh?
Did you pack your atomic beer in your car on your trip?
Tonic beer? No, I don't drink that tonic stuff. I don't even.
No, atomic beer. The thing I sent you.
Oh, you're talking about my breaker. Yeah, that is I didn't realize how awesome that was. It's got a light. It even has like 3 or 4 different battery packs for it. It breaks windows. It has a pin in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, when the Kylie Lonnie case was going on, they had Adventures with a Purpose had brought up about the tool, good thing to have, and you said, oh yeah, I forget when I I'll have to
It's
send
in
it
my
on.
purse. I take it with me everywhere.
Yeah, you never know if someone else, you find a child locked in a car when a parent leaves it, or a dog,
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, the thing that you use for the glass, it's a good weapon for the skull.
Oh
You ever
yes,
needed it.
that thing's sharp
It'll break
too.
someone's skull. Yeah.
It'll
But
disable somebody pretty quickly. That's for sure. And that thing's heavy. Like the actual pin
was
and
it?
stuff. Oh yeah, it's got some weight to it. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
heavy duty.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get one. Put it in. It's good to have. You never know. I mean, hopefully you never need it, but
But it's versatile.
yeah.
I mean, it's got the multi-tool to it. It's got the breaker on it. It's got a flashlight to it, and it's a pen, and it's heavy, so it could literally disable a predator too.
Yep.
So.
Hey, it's good to have. But no, I'm just happy with the outcome because and they say it's gonna be the dumbest criminal of the century for what he did, but thank God he did it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, with her being so close, and it being so out in the media. I mean, we don't know how much longer she would have been found safe, because he would his depression was building on this guy. He would have had to made some kind of move at some point.
But I just keep thinking, this guy,
backyard.
like, what in the world? I mean, well, obviously, what in the world was he thinking? But he doesn't look. I mean, I'm looking at this guy, and like, even looking in his eyes, he does not look all there. There's something wrong.
No, he
with
looks
him.
he looks very unkept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the unkept, just looking past the unkept, there appears to be something serious. Like usually I say it's like drugs or it's alcohol, or I can identify that. This looks more mental health to me. I mean, his eyes and the way he looked, like even in that camera, he looked like he didn't really know what was going on.
No, they have to start getting stiffer sentences for these cases.
Mm-hmm.
There was just one. They thought maybe this guy was related to it too, and they just wouldn't walk out. He's been taken. He's the guy. I forget his name. I think it was 61 or something like that. But he was taking video of people in that park.
Mm-hmm.
Just videotaping people and women and stuff and kids, and he was just in court, I think, last week.
Yeah, I saw that. That's from. I think that's the one that Nick the Hat had. I can't. I'll show your number. I was going to show the screen, but if I show the screen, then I cut you off. So, but yeah, Nick the Hat released something on his Facebook page about the guy, the older guy. He's 62 years old.
Yeah.
But he has the same name as the guy that did this to Charlotte. It's like this guy's bad news, but he's 62 years old, but he's got the same name, Craig.
Ross?
Yes, Craig Ross.
Yeah, they were trying to find. I was watching it during the night, trying to find there was a connection, and nobody seems to find that any relation.
Yeah.
And then a little weird. I don't know if you've seen the video of that Timothy guy. I think his name was Timothy. That's a P. Phil something. Phil, I can't pronounce his last name, but he had was ranting and raving and with anger, threatening people. He was the one that was at the park flying with the frozen kite.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, when she was went missing, and he was in touch with the police, giving them information about this John guy. Remember the John guy that came up in your chat? I think it was yesterday. That they thought was the guy that kidnapped her.
Oh.
And I guess he lived with him, and he took off a couple.
I didn't even hear a guy. Was there a guy named John in my chat that was talking about it? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it was one. I forget what the girl's name was. She was in your chat. I guess one of them, some moderator or something, was friends with the family.
Oh, I think that was Granny's watching. She was the one clarifying some information for us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the name came out, and this guy was getting in touch with the police and giving this guy's information, telling it could possibly be him. But this guy was going on there threatening people, and he was a very angry person, and people were calling him out, saying that he possibly was involved. And what a crazy video he put. But then the guy's on there, and he's an SA offender, and they're not supposed to have social media accounts. I don't know out there posting stuff.
Hang up.
Yeah.
Quiet, I got my grandson over here. But, hang
Hang up on her.
Hi,
Well, hi, honey.
Betty.
Hi.
Now.
Now you can hang up.
Yeah, but I'll let you go. But I just
All
wanted
right,
to touch
love.
base, and I'm glad you made it back home safe.
Yeah. All right. Love you. Have a great
All
day.
right, I'll be in touch. Love you too.
Bye-bye. Oh, Lord. Hang up, he says. Hang up. I am dying. That was too cute. I got to be honest. That was just adorable. Hi, Betty. Well, yeah. Hi to you too, buddy. Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Well, we've got a few other things that I've got going on here. We now know what the guy's identity is related to it. We know that this young girl was truly abducted. It's not the only disgusting thing going on in this world. As we know, every single day we can fill this chat up for hours and hours on end, right? And so here we go. Suspected serial S offender allegedly takes clothes off he's arrested near children in park. There he is. So this is another despicable person. Let me take this off because we're not on there anymore. I've already closed up the phones, guys. So there's no need to call. Okay, there we go. So anyways, this is a suspect serial S offender was arrested last week after an incident of indecent exposure in Virginia area, police say. At 7:01 Thursday evening, officers from Fairfax County Police Department Technical Investigation Unit were notified that there was a man that had taken off his clothes at a park with children nearby. The Fairfax Police Department said in a press release Saturday, the man allegedly matched the description of a recent indecent exposure suspect. Officers said the Frankiana Mount Vernon Police District arrived at the scene. I can't pronounce that word. On Telegraph Road, and the suspect began to flee. As the suspect ran, he began to disrobe and throw his outer layer of clothing into the woods. The officers caught up with the man and placed him under arrest. I feel bad for those officers. This guy's name's Felix Antonio Mahias Vigil. I don't know. Something like that. He's 35 years old. And he's been charged with 2 counts of indecent liberties with child under 15, 4 counts of actual simulated, the M word in public, and false identification to law enforcement. What a dirtbag that guy is. So if you see this guy in Virginia and you have got children or you're just by yourself, you need to turn around and walk the other way if you know what's good for you. Guy is pretty bad. There's also some other stuff here. There's also a critical missing. This just came in over the last few hours. I think maybe last night. This is from Georgia. And this lady here has been missing. She's 48-year-old Georgia woman. She's been missing since Friday. And there has been an arrest made in her case. And they said that basically the person that was arrested in her case has been arrested on unrelated charges. So this is going to be a case where we don't anticipate a great outcome. This particular person, Amy, her name's Amy Lefekis, I think is the proper pronunciation of her name. But she at this moment is presumed deceased, and they have not located her yet. So again, this is coming out of Georgia. Beautiful woman. I'll just read this to you. A 48-year-old Georgia woman has been missing since Friday, and police have made an arrest during their investigation on unrelated charges. On Friday, the family of Amy Lefekis reported her missing. The Brookhaven, Georgia Police Department said in a statement Saturday, the last time anyone heard from her was at 2 a.m. on Friday. Reports state that Brandon Winiger, depending on how you pronounce it, was arrested during the investigation into the case, but his arrest is not directly related to her disappearance. The police department did not immediately respond to people's request for information. According to the online jail records, Winiger was arrested Saturday at 10:46 a.m. and charged with allegedly tampering with evidence, kidnapping, false statements or writings, conceal facts or fraudulent documents in matter of government, and first-degree burglary. The police say that the arrest of Winiger was after interviewing multiple family members and other people close to Leficus, according to the Atlantis News. It is unclear whether he has retained an attorney. Authorities have not said that if there's any connection between Leficus and Winiger. So they didn't say it, but obviously there is a connection there. And then we just have an update on Brian Kohberger. The update on Brian Kohberger is Brian Kohberger might know so far about his alibi and the trial and the defense. This is probably a good article to read. I'm not going to read it here. We go over this case very fluently. We already know what his alibi is. His alibi is a whole bunch of BS. You know, he was eager to get back to Idaho to exonerate himself. And since he's been back to Idaho, all we have received from him is a bunch of BS. And it's the camera's faults. And we need to kick the media out because they're painting him in a negative light because he's not doing that all by himself, you know? So whatever. Anyways, that's it, guys. I want to tell you all, thank you so much for being here and participating in the calling. And it seemed like it was a really great day in the chat as well. It seemed like everybody is, you know, being adult-like. I love it. I love it. There was a few people at the beginning that were a little bit problematic, but we got through it. And I just want to say thank you all that came over here and got some information from me about the case of Charlotte Sena. And again, I was heading out there because I don't like getting other people's work. You guys know me. There's so many mistakes in mainstream media. I trust my own eyeballs. I trust my own brain cells, and I trust going out there and doing a great job. This would have been a case that we would have just only been doing commentary on and reporting back as we followed law enforcement on their journey as they searched for her. That was really it. I have to be honest with you. I was not expecting her to come back alive. You guys know that. I don't lie to you guys about my feelings on these cases at all. And I'm just so relieved. I have to be honest. I don't know what other word it is than just relieved to hear she came home safely, because so many times that's not the outcome. And it's like, it's almost expected. We expect bad news when we hear cases like this because statistics are not on these children's sides. It's just not. And it's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking that we have people in this country that are preying upon us and preying upon our children. Our children are so special to us. They are literally our future, and we need to protect them every possibility and every chance we have. So again, thank you all for being here. Please don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the chat box below. Remember, you don't know what kind of day somebody else is having. So why don't you be the smile in their day, guys?
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.